We're live.
We're live?
Yes.
Hello, folks. This is the Pod Squad. We have with us today Pat Drake, Wendy Card, Kathy Morrison, and yours truly, Colleen Roberts. Thanks for joining us for the podcast on February 4th. It's already February 2021. This is episode 172.
All right, yay. And we're connecting you with people, places, and happenings in New Bern and surrounding areas. And we invite you to join in the conversation.
But there's always a but, isn't there? There just is always a but. But before we get started, we have a contest to be entered to win. Make sure that you comment during today's show on New Bern Now's Facebook page.
Okay.
Hey, you want the question?
Yeah.
Sure, bring it on, Wendy.
Wendy.
All right. Name a Harlem Globetrotter who was born in New Bern, and there was more than one. So if you just name one of them,
I can guess two old guys.
yeah, well, two of them are no longer with us, but
Well, those are the two I can guess.
really, wow. Okay, well, if you know the answer, you're listening, you know the answer, put it on our Facebook, this live stream. And if there's more than one winner, then we'll pull your name out of a hat and at 7:00 tonight, we'll draw the winner. So.
And what does the winner get this time, Wendy?
It's going to be a gift certificate from a local business. And we're not going to say the business yet because I haven't confirmed that they have gift certificates. So if they haven't, we're drawing business names out of a hat also. So I private message them and they're very busy. So
Sounds good. I remember seeing the Harlem Globetrotters when we were little, when I was little. My parents took my sister and me, and they're just so fun to watch. So, and one of them came to New Bern and spoke several years ago at the annual chamber banquet.
Wow.
And
That's cool.
after the banquet was over, I said, can I ask you two questions? And he said, sure. I said, okay, well, the first one is, I'm sure you get all the time. Can I please have a photo with you? Which was pretty funny because I'm not very tall and he's very tall. So it was a cute photo. I said, and the second one you might not be expecting, but my stepson wears like size 14, 15 shoes. Where do you get socks that fit?
Did he tell you?
He did tell me a retailer I had shopped with before.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't remember them having a tremendous selection of socks, but especially like business kind of trouser socks.
Mm-hmm.
Those are kind of difficult to find in the larger sizes. So anyway, but it was nice to know he had the same difficulty because he could only give me the one idea of the place to shop.
Place to get socks. I saw them when I was 12. That's
Wow.
how I know the names of two older guys. But when I was 12, my dad took me. And just, it was just thrilling for a 12-year-old. When they picked up the bucket of water to throw on the guy and it's full of confetti.
Yeah.
And that egg works, 50 years later.
Right.
So that was fun. And it's fun, to be able to say, yes, I have seen the Harlem Globetrotters. Is something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think my favorite was Curly.
Curly Neal.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yep.
So, y'all have any favorites? Although they were all great.
Yes, definitely.
The
And
two
don't
I
forget-
remember from then, I won't say in case they're the ones that you're looking for.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And don't forget, if you think you know the answer, you have to comment on the New Bern Now Facebook page. This show is often shared on other pages. You can't comment on there. You're going to have to go to the New Bern Now Facebook page. So if you think you know two Harlem Globetrotters,
No,
born in
one,
New Bern,
just one.
you only have to.
Just
I'm sorry,
one.
you only have to
Just-
name one. Then please comment, and you'll be entered to win the contest.
There you go. Yeah.
The ladies are taking over today.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we are.
How is everyone? Kathy Morrison, how are you doing?
Good, doing good. Enjoying the sunshine, even though it's a little chilly. We got through all the rain and the dark days from last week, so sun is always good.
It's
My
beautiful.
goodness, it certainly is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
beautiful outside.
Pat Drake, how are you doing?
We're good, thank you. I agree with Kathy. I'll take even the dreary rain. My two sons are only about an hour above New York City, and they got over 2 feet of snow.
Ooh.
So,
Wow.
and it's cold, so it's going to be around a while. I don't miss those days.
Yeah, me neither. And I agree. I love seeing the sun again. I feel like we've been in a really rainy, dreary, sort of cloudy period the last couple of weeks. So this is really nice. It's a little chilly though. Wendy Card, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I want to show you something.
Okay.
Since the rain has gone away and it's perfect time to grill.
Uh-oh, new toys.
This is what I was talking about. These are applewood planks, and these are black cherry.
Ooh.
And their Main Grilling Woods is the company. And you can get these. They're only $5 for a whole stack of them to grill anything with. You can get them at Grills and Fireplaces in James City, along with all kinds of other things. That's where we got the big green egg. But we cooked pork chops on them the other day. Oh my gosh, they were the best pork chops I've ever had. So pork chops, scallops, chicken, anything. So fish.
You just
Now,
add
do
that
you-
to your coals or what?
No, you put it on the grilling grate, and you just
Oh.
put the food. If it's say it's salmon, it already has oils in it. You don't add any kind of oil to the piece of wood.
Mhm.
But if you're cooking chicken, then you just rub some olive oil on
Okay.
top, and it just
That's
sits
fine.
on there. 20 minutes later, if it's chicken, you just take it off the grill and it's done.
So it's like planking stuff.
Yes, they're planks, wood planks.
So you don't have to wet it or soak it or anything.
Oh, yeah, yes, you do. Thank you.
Okay.
You soak it for at least 20 minutes. Some people don't soak it, but I soak mine. So, yeah,
I
and then
had
you
heard-
flip it. You put it on the grill and you flip it because you have to heat it up, and then you flip it and then you put the food on. So
Okay.
So what are you making for us?
when this is over, we're gonna have a party, and we're gonna grill and make pizza and ribs and all kinds of stuff. So, and healthy stuff. So
You just let me know what to bring. And I want to be there when you put that plank, you soak that plank and put it on the grill and make something.
I will. I wonder if Grills and Fireplaces is still doing, like, when I was on base back in the early 2000s, I would drive home and they'd be grilling, like, say on around noon, they'd have a pork butt or something on the grill outside. And so I wonder if they still do that. I gotta ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you have all of us in the mood for grilling.
Well, maybe when we finally get out of this lockdown or whatever, the podcast, we can do it at Grills and Fireplaces, and we can use their big green egg. So
There you go.
On location.
on location, there we go. Yeah.
Right.
So what's going on, Colleen?
Oh my goodness.
What's
Lots
not
going
going
on.
on?
I'm joining you from a little different place. I'm usually in front of a window in my office at Historic City Hall, which is a wonderful place to be able to say you work at every day. It's such a beautiful building downtown. But today I'm at West New Bern Recreation Center, which is on Pine Tree Drive. So sort of behind the fuel warehouse on Glen Burnie Road. Or if you're coming in from MLK, it's down Turn at Cookout, and it's down that road, down Pine Tree. We are having tonight our second public meeting about resiliency. And I know people are probably like, oh, what a snorer, resiliency. This really is an important initiative that especially our young families and young professionals will carry forward into the future. We're working with several consultants on what does the future of sea level rise and flooding look like for New Bern. And so they are studying a lot of what has happened, not just with Florence in our community, but also other hurricanes that have had an impact on New Bern and the surrounding area. And we need to give them a lot of public input. They can study, you know, flood waters and how many inches of rain we got and the millions of dollars worth of damage. But really what helps them is first person accounts of experiences in your business, your home, whatever the case may be. So tonight is our second public meeting. You can join us at 6 o'clock tonight here at West New Bern. There are a bunch of tables behind me. There's going to be a small map exercise. Everybody should be very spread out if you're coming in person, and do wear a mask. But you can also join us virtually, and all of that information on how you can join us virtually is on our website. So newbernnc.gov/resiliency. And if you can't join us tonight, there's an easy way to subscribe for updates on this project. So if you want to kind of stay in the know as we progress through this initiative, you can sign up and share your email right from that webpage, and we'll keep you abreast of all of our progress. But we've been here this morning setting up for the Zoom capability tonight for people to join us, and then also making sure we have adequate audio and visual capabilities here in the meeting room at West New Bern. So it was really funny this morning if you got to see me, because I was trying an example Zoom with our consultants, and it looked like this. And I could hear them, but they couldn't hear me. So the, you know, wonderful technology that sometimes works and sometimes doesn't. So, but anyway, that's tonight at 6 o'clock, and we expect to adjourn the meeting at 7:30. So you shouldn't be out too late tonight. So that's where I am.
So no 3-hour meeting. So that's good.
Don't jinx us, Wendy.
I'm touching wood right now. So. Yeah.
And then tomorrow we have the Board of Aldermen retreat, which starts at 1 o'clock at City Hall. We will also be broadcasting that on City 3 TV, also on our website and on Facebook live stream. So you can keep up with what the aldermen are going to be talking about. They are discussing the City Hall elevator, some of the preliminary budget items that we have to look at for fiscal year 2022. I'm trying to remember what else is on the list. So several things on the agenda, and they have made it so that they do have the capability to reconvene on Saturday if they want to. Last year, we put everything into the retreat and were able to cover it all on the Friday. But just in case the discussion goes over, we will be at City Hall again on Saturday. So lots of different meetings going on.
Man, busy, busy, busy.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Very.
Yeah.
So
Well, Historical Society, we've got a couple of things coming. We just filmed, videoed, recorded a presentation from Nelson McDaniel that we will have up, and it will be an online presentation. It's called Voices in the Cause of Freedom. And Nelson takes a look back at the history of New Bern. What is freedom? How are people working towards it? And looks at various individuals and what they have contributed, not only to what was happening in New Bern, but what was happening to our country. And it's really interesting. If you've ever heard Nelson, it's just, he's telling you the story, and it's just, he knows these things intrinsically and just tells you all about them. It's just great to listen to Nelson. This will be up on our website and our Facebook page starting February 24th. So you'll be able to just go click. If you go to the website, it's newbernhistorical.org/virtual-programs, and you'll find it there, or you'll find it in the videos on our Facebook page. And there's no charge. It's a little less than an hour, and it's really a wonderful presentation. You know, he talks about William Gaston that you might know something about or might not. and goes into detail with him. He'll talk about Abraham Galloway, but that's a fascinating story. He was an enslaved fella. He came up to New Bern, and he was responsible for recruiting many of the fellas that went into the U.S. colored troops, and Bayard Wooten, who a lot of
I love her. Yeah.
along with her. So there, he runs through 7 or 8 people, and it's just really a good presentation, a neat presentation. At least it was with me when I was sitting there watching him and clicking the slides. So want to invite everybody to come and see Nelson McDaniel, Mr. New Bern, a wonderful historian, scholar, and listen to what he has to say. So that's our new virtual program. Then the next is something that Pat started to tell us about, and I had to say, oh no, not in January. Well, now we've got it in March.
Okay.
We are going to do a curated mini ABC sale. Now, ABC stands for attic, basement, closet. And we've done the ABC sale for more than 20 years. So we're going to do a mini version. So on March 13th, and then again 2 weeks later on March 27th. And we will be at the Battlefield Pavilion. So at Battlefield Park, which is at 300 Battlefield Trail. You can plug that into your GPS, or just go to the Dunkin' Donuts, turn right, cross the railroad track, and turn left.
After you get a donut.
Yeah.
Go to Dunkin' Donuts. So it'll be outdoors, because it'll be under the pavilion, but outdoors. So we will, control the number of people. We will ask everybody wear a mask. We need to still keep safe, watch your distance, but it's going to be curated. So they've selected the best stuff, and there's only going to be 6 departments, where before we had 15 different departments of all kinds of stuff. They've selected the best things to try and empty out our storage facilities. And there's going to be antiques, furniture, collectibles, art, jewelry, and tools and outdoor stuff. So it's whittled down to just those 6 things. And we'll be getting more information out on it, but here's your first information is, so it's March 13th and March 27th. So,
Breaking news, folks.
yeah.
Awesome.
Again, with apologies to Pat for going, oh my God, no. So yes, we are having a curated mini ABC 2 Saturdays in March.
And so this is a different location, right? Don't you usually use?
We've been usually at the Knights of Columbus building.
Yes.
Not far from where you are right now.
Exactly.
But in order to be outdoors, in order to deal with COVID, and we certainly don't want to be sharing any COVID stuff, we set it up so it is at an outdoor place. Yes, there's a roof, so you won't get rained on, but it's an open place. It's a pavilion. And yes, wear your mask, and think about what you're doing and where you're standing. So
Right.
that's what's going on for historical.
Wonderful.
So glad you're doing that again.
Yeah, we weren't sure we were going to be able, and then we found we had, we were still collecting and had storage facilities, and we said, we've got to empty out these storage facilities. So they said, well, let's do a sale, but we'll take the best stuff we have and put it in the sale. So that's what we did.
Well, you got a bunch of options.
Mhm.
March 13th and then March 27th.
27th, so 2 Saturdays, 2 weeks apart.
Okay,
So
Yeah.
fantastic. And I think we have somebody in the waiting room, right?
Yeah. All right.
Wendy is going to bring in Reeshema Walker, who's going to talk to us today. She is the NC Works Career Center Manager. They're over at 2836 Neuse Boulevard. And they can help you if you are looking for employment. They can help you find a career here in New Bern, greater New Bern areas. Reeshema, is she successfully in the room?
Yes, indeed.
Can everybody hear me?
Reeshema.
Hello, can anybody hear me?
Hello.
We good?
Yep,
Yes.
you're good.
Hi,
Well,
how
thank
are
you.
doing?
I'm just fine. I'm just glad Wendy knows that I checked my messenger on Facebook. I just happened to glance and I'm like, what? But hey, Marine's always ready, right?
A Marine is always ready. That's why I knew I could count on you anytime. So thank you. You're just so full of energy, and we just needed a boost today. So, and you always have great news about employment opportunities and all kinds of
Always.
stuff. So, yeah.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Happy New
Good.
Year.
Yeah.
It's good to see
Woohoo.
everybody. We survived 2020. And now we're excited about 2021. I don't know if you follow us on social media, but we have so many different job opportunities going on. We've already done 2 drive-through hiring events just to make sure keeping everybody safe. And in fact, I got some exciting news. Just FYI, y'all the first ones to hear about it.
Breaking
March
news,
30th.
folks.
Yes, March 30th. It's a Tuesday. We're going to have our 6th annual 2021 Craven Works Job Fair outdoors at Union Point.
Woo,
Woo!
woo, woo.
Good.
Wow.
Oh, yes, we have. We're excited. We did a survey back in December. You know, a lot of our employers are not allowed to do anything indoors. Again, we're trying to keep everybody safe, but they said they could do an outdoor event. And luckily, Union Point just right next door to Convention Center. What? Hey, so we're excited. There'll be more information if y'all follow us on our social media page. Job seekers are going to be able to pre-match. So they can email their resume ahead of time, and the job openings that we have, we can go ahead and pre-match them prior to them getting to the event. So they'll know what employers to go to and do that quick face-to-face, drop off a resume, and the employer can take their information, and hopefully they can get a job. And we have a lot of employers in Craven County who got a lot of vacancies. And we want to fill it with those qualified individuals who find themselves, you know, looking for a new career due to COVID, or a lot of remote jobs for those who are working from home or who have to, you know, teach their children at home and their job is no longer there. So this is a lot of opportunities. We're excited that we have all the employers from Craven County. We'll be able to we didn't want to cancel it. So we said, you know what, we're just gonna take it outdoors. And you know what, everybody's a fan. Marines, you know, we adapt, we overcome. And that's one thing about Craven County. Hey, we rise to the challenge, and the goal is to keep everybody safe. So y'all the first ones to hear about it. March 30th. Union Point, here we come.
Awesome. And it's going to be a beautiful sunny day.
Yes, I'm believing God for a beautiful sunny day. We're going to have tables and chairs. Again, we've got the health department is already committed to, we're going to do pre-screening for the volunteers, the employers, and the job seekers. So before anybody even shows up, they're going to do a quick pre-screening because again, at the end of the day, we want everybody to be safe. Yes, get a job, fill vacancies, but we want everybody to go home safely with no issues. And that's one thing we looked at when planning: hand sanitizers, signage, social distancing, masks will be required. You name it, we're going to follow the CDC guidelines and keep it safe for everybody.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So Reeshema, you
Yes.
work with both sides, the employers who need people and then employees finding jobs. What are some of the most popular occupations in need right now?
Right now, manufacturing. We have a lot, and not just, we can mention Bosch, we can mention Moen, we can mention Derdera. There are big manufacturing. We also have some of our smaller employers when it comes to administrative. Right now, we got Craven County government has a lot of jobs, City of Havelock, City of New Bern, you name it, it's across the board, from our undergrounder electricians to carpenters to dentists, hygienists, healthcare professionals, teachers. Craven County Schools are looking for teachers. We've got special ed drivers. You name it, we have it, from jobs that require a high school diploma to those who require a master's degree. Those who require a certification, whether it's through the Craven Community College Fast Track. The college is awesome. They got a 2-day fast track manufacturing program that you could learn about manufacturing and then get an interview with one of our big manufacturing companies.
Wow.
That is great, regardless of your experience. I mean, this is, like I said, it's an exciting time between the carpentry. I tell people, I've never seen an unemployed HVAC worker, especially when it's hot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So our skills are definitely, you name it. We have it between the director at the small business center at the college. I mean, we've got professional jobs. And then we have our administrative, our clerical, our drivers, CDL, because I've never seen an unemployed CDL driver. So there's just certain skill sets that you will have a job. So again, you're right. I work with the job seekers and also listen to the employers, what they're looking for and what type of, most of the time you'll be surprised. It's not much of your experience. Can you come to work on time? Can you stay off that cell phone? Oh my Lord, can you stay off that cell phone? And my last, but my greatest, can you pass a drug test in the name of Jesus? Marijuana is still a drug in the state of North Carolina. This is not Colorado, people. You just, hey, don't smoke no weed on the weekends. Wait till you pass the drug screening, okay? Get you. I mean, I'm just being honest. These are the things that hinder people every day. But I keep telling folks, marijuana is still a drug in the state of North Carolina now. I don't care if you eat some cookies with something in it. Stay away from people who don't cook with real ingredients, okay? Until you get a job and get yourself established, and then just don't get caught. I hate to say that, but
well, hey, can I add to that, Reeshema?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
There's something now called CBD. They've
Yes.
got oil, they've got gummies.
I would stay away
people-
from all that.
Well, that's an option for people that are really hooked on smoking pot. I recently heard that, so just passing that along if you're having a hard time quitting. So I don't know.
Yes, and there are options, but my thing is, and again, I guess it's the Marine in me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Livelihood, recreation, because it costs to have a good recreation. It costs for you to buy that stuff. There ain't no layaway plan, okay?
Right.
So you got to have money. So, and again, especially in times we're living in right now, 2021 is so far, it's been exciting. It's only 4 days into our second month, and we have seen a lot of people's life has changed because we've got so many different emails from people saying, hey, thank you, either for the fast track, they got a job, instead of them making $8 an hour now, they're making $15 an hour now. So you're talking about life changes, that it changes their economic status. Now they got benefits. You got health care. Now you get sick, if you got to go get a COVID test, you ain't got to figure out how to either pay out of pocket or go without. So we're changing people's lives here.
You are, definitely.
So,
no
I
doubt.
mean, like I said, it's an exciting time, and I just know this year is only going to get better.
Now, Reeshema,
Yes.
what about veterans? You also work with veterans.
Oh, yes, ma'am. We've got jobs on Cherry Point. So we work with those who are transitioning out the military, whether it's Cherry Point or Camp Lejeune. In fact, the veteran reps they do their transitioning different now because of COVID. So now they do virtual, but we still get the information. And a lot of the jobs, those are transitioning, cannot go to an indoor. So that's why we got an outdoor. So they can get permission from the superiors to come to our job fair. There's outdoor, minimum risks, and hopefully they can transition and they don't have to relocate out of state North Carolina. We've got good paying jobs right here in Craven County. And we definitely want to showcase that so they don't have to go back to Texas and try to figure it out, where they can go in from here in a uniform to either a suit or automatic job, and they don't have to worry about figuring out how I'm going to live from paycheck to paycheck. There's a gap in my insurance. What I'm going to do now, I got rent due. So we definitely, again, I'm just so glad that the employers of Craven County has stepped up, and we're going to showcase and let our military folks know you can stay right here, whether you did 4 years or 30 years, stay in Craven County and do very well, take care of you and your family. Yes, ma'am.
That's incredible. The changes that have happened since, we retired. It's just
yes.
the opportunities, it's just it's wonderful what you guys are doing. And yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Well, when I retired, I was still unemployed for a year. So, and I did about 30 different resumes. I filled out 100 applications. In fact, no lie, this is my first civilian job retiring from the Marine Corps. And again, and I tell anybody, because I'm a living testimony, I retired as a Chief Officer 3, Deputy Director out of Quantico, Virginia. And I was stationed here back in 2003 and bought a house. And when I retired, I went back to New Mexico. I was like, you know what? I love New Bern. It was just something. I have a good church home, Day Spring Christian Center. And someone told, and no lie, God told me there was provision here. Now, I was unemployed for a year, but I had to go through that. So now I understand when those are transitioning and you're going to get out and think all these employers are going to hunt you down. They're not. You got that one resume with all your military jargon. They don't understand it. So now I got hired as a vet rep. And so now I'm the manager. And so that tells you that there are provision right here in the city of New Bern, and you don't have to go anywhere, but you have to put the time in, you have to put the work in, you have to network. And if you love what you do, it's going to make a way for you. So like I said, I know about veterans. That's my heart. Yes.
Yeah, and actually, my first job was a funeral home attendant. I was like
Wow.
I was a decedent affairs officer and a patient admin and all that.
Mhm.
So, you know, safety officer at the hospital and at Cherry Point, and $10 an hour.
Yep.
And at the funeral home, carrying bodies and waking up. Carrying deceased personnel and waking up at 3 a.m. to go into work, and it was just for $10 an hour. That was hard labor. Although many people have harder labor than that, but you know, I was older and I thought, you know, heck, 20 years of all kinds of different things under my belt. Doesn't matter. When you're out, you start all over again. So
I tell transition is hard for anybody. And I equate it going back to boot camp, whether you did 4 years or 30 years, whether you're Marine Corps, Air Force, Coast Guard, even a National Guard, it doesn't matter. When you get out, you got to have a safety net. And that's one thing now, there is a safety net. You're not by yourself. You got folks that's right there to help you. And the goal is for you to connect jobs to talent. So now we can help you before you even get your DD-214. Already have interviewing, already know how to speak the civilian terminology. And the goal is when you're done with your active duty the next day, if you want to work, then you can go into a good paying job and not something like, oh my, yeah, trust me, been there, done that. I was depressed. You talking about a year?
yes,
And I've been there, done that. And you know, veteran suicide is high, and it's high right now, even with COVID. And that's something that I'm very sensitive to, because when you're transitioning and you are like you're by yourself and you don't know where you're at next, you are all this and then some in the military. You're DD-214, you were kicking butt, taking names, and then you get out and it's cricket. And so that's why we've got all these great organizations, and especially with NC Works and even our vet staff with the folks at Cherry Point who work with those transitioning, so they don't have to go through what me and you went through, Wendy. Hopefully they can have a lot easier and they can take care of them, their families, and stay in Craven County. Let me throw that in there.
that was awesome. You're amazing. This is just great.
And
great
Reeshema,
news.
you are an example of the fact that there are opportunities for advancement in Craven County.
Yes.
You may have started at one thing with NC Works and now you're the manager. So there's room to advance in this county.
Yes, there is. You're definitely, and again, a lot of folks, I hear a lot of young people, they got to go to Charlotte or they got to go Atlanta. No, if you stay right here and use your skills to better our community, the sky's the limit. You can do anything you want to do right here. And have opportunity, have benefits, have a retirement plan. And a lot of young people don't think about that. And it's cute when you're 25. It ain't cute when you're 55. So again, I'm just great that I'm in an opportunity where I can affect not just veterans, but everybody. I've seen people from all different, from those who are 18. I even got individuals who are 71 years old who are getting back in, who are working, who were scared to get back into their work environment, and us working with them, they are happy and they're actually, you know, they find themselves raising their grandkids. So you can find yourself in a position where life happens and you got to go to work. And again, one thing about Craven County, you name it, we have it right here, and you're not by yourself. And we got great partners that can help individuals, and we do a lot of warm referrals. So we don't give you a telephone number and say, call that person. No, we call that person for you and say, hey, here's a date time you need to contact them. We don't, we do the spirit of excellence. So we go over and beyond. Besides the employment side of the house, we want to make sure they got food in their cupboards. You know what I'm saying? They're not worried about them being kicked out the house, because you can't focus on a job if you're about to be homeless. So we take a holistic approach when we're helping our job seekers.
How do folks who need help find you?
Oh, well, we got a couple of ways. You know, we're in the 21st century. So you can either contact us, and we actually have a text. So you can text NC Works Jobs to 877-916-6901. or you can call our cell phone, which is 984-297-2410. Now, due to COVID, we're doing all our appointments either via telephone or email, but we do have 4 computers. So if you have internet issues, you know, I know people applying for jobs on their phone, don't do that. You can make an appointment to use one of our computers to have internet. You can print, as long as job related or anything, you can come in here and use our computer free. And if you don't want to use InstaWorks and you want to use Indeed, my goal is to help you whatever way that we can. So you can call that number and schedule time to use one of our computers, and make sure you come in here with a mask on.
Yeah.
And we'll be fine. Gotta have a mask, y'all. We're gonna be safe.
Reeshema, we have loved having you on the podcast today, and you need to come back and do updates because you are a ball of fun.
She is. I mean, you just made my day. You give me.
Well, again, I just appreciate the
energy.
opportunity. And Wendy, you lucky that you are a veteran and that I checked in my Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
I was like, Lord, okay, I could do this. And again, anything I could do to share, to help individuals, whatever that may be. And again, thank you for this platform that y'all allowed for people to watch, to connect folks to resources and updates in the community and stuff. So I thank you. So thank you.
Thank you, Reshema.
Thanks, Reeshema.
you're
I feel like
amazing.
I ought to stand and give a round of applause.
I'm gonna give y'all one.
Standing ovation. Woo! Take care, my friend.
Yes, you too. Y'all stay safe, okay? Wear your mask.
We will. Bye, Reeshema.
All righty, bye.
Bye-bye. My gosh.
I love her. She is just awesome.
I mean,
She
we
has
are
so much
lucky to
energy.
have
Yeah.
her. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, you don't want to mess with Reshema. You better wear a mask.
I think she could probably lead us all in like some rigorous exercise
Oh,
or
definitely.
run through downtown New Bern or something.
No doubt. She is a motivator. Yeah, she's incredible.
Very much. Well, do
We've
you want to
come so
hit back
far.
on the contest question, Wendy, so we can
Yeah.
give people more time to think about the answer?
Yes. Okay. Name one Harlem Globetrotter who was born in New Bern. Now we know there's a few, and there may be more than I was aware of because people are responding with different names. So
And because of old smarty pants, Kathy Morrison.
we
now,
know
I'm
of at
making
least
just
3 of
guesses
them.
from what I can pull out of the hat.
Well, plus you have an awesome memory. And you remember things from when you were a
When I was
kid
12
and you
years
watched
old
them.
back in 19.
Yeah. All right. I do want to say, I want to give a shout out to a new business in town, Sampson and Son. Have you all heard of them?
Yes, I have.
I haven't.
They're-
Who are they?
They're located at 806 Queen Street, and they're a restaurant, new restaurant. They're serving breakfast platters, sandwiches. Platters include pancakes, eggs, and grits with your choice of protein, turkey bacon patties, turkey ham, and beef smoked links, or request a sandwich of your choice. They also have dessert. It seems like their goal is to provide a healthier food option for residents because they have vegetarian meals too.
Sounds
So
good.
And what
Wonderful.
I love is I love a restaurant with a changing menu. And when you walk in there, they have like a dry erase board up with everything, all of the offerings for that particular day. And I just love how it changes up. So you never know what might be on the menu for that day. And I just love that. You know, they're cooking with fresh ingredients and being honest with you when they don't have something, you know, and they're writing
Right,
up
yes.
clearly what you have to choose from. I think that's awesome.
And they're on
Yeah.
Queen Street.
they're on Queen Street. Yes.
Mhm.
806 Queen Street.
Okay.
And also it's Black History Month. So we want to recognize a good friend of New Bern now. And you guys probably know Ben.
Ben
Oh,
Watford.
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
This is,
He is a potter,
yes, he is.
pottery maker.
He's a potter. He was a teacher, and now he's, in my eyes, he's a life educator. He's a historian. I've learned so much from Ben, and he's also he's an author. Gosh, I wish I could remember the name of one of his books. What he did was his wife would like nag, I think it's nag, would be nagging at him about something, and he'd write the little nags on stickers, and he collected all the stickers and he made a book out of them. So it's the book of nagging or something with his wife. It's just a great, he has so many neat stories, and he also is involved with the James City Historical Society.
And the slave burial out there by the airport.
Yes, the slave burial and the slave quarters. He gave us a tour years ago, and it was just incredible. And let's see, he's a man of many talents, and I asked him this back when we were doing the podcast at the Isaac Taylor house. I said, do you need to do a podcast, Ben? And he's like, well, he has a podcast, and it's narrated by, well, it's an Englishman, Craig Rosendale. I think he lives in Fairfield Harbor. He met Ben, and they got together, and they're narrating. I'm not sure it's about Ben's life, but it's called Growing Up with Jim Crow. And a little bit of background from his podcast. Ben was born in 1932 during the Great Depression, and he was the 12th of 15 children. He said, we were dirt poor. We lived back in the woods. His mother made clothes out of fertilizer bags, and they didn't have shoes. And it just goes on, but you have to check out his podcast. Once again, it's called Growing Up with Jim Crow, and I'm going to include a link when we're done with this. And as far as the face jugs here, the story behind this from Ben, they're beautifully ugly because their appearance was meant to scare evil spirits away. Slaves were denied the right to place headstones on the graves of their dead. These jugs could be placed at the graves of slaves to serve both as markers and scare away evil spirits, allowing their soul to enter heaven. He said, the uglier, the better. And to me, this is a beautiful piece of artwork, but it is scary.
Yeah, I'd be pretty scared if I walked up and saw a bunch of those staring at me.
Yeah.
Well, if it's in the first couple weeks of February, we know the big holiday that comes up around the middle of February, and that's Valentine's. And then the day before has now become known as Galentine's, when you get together with your girlfriends. And I was talking to George Oliver the other day because Walk-In Bathtub is doing an improv-a-thon in celebration of Galentine's Day on February 13th at the New Bern Civic Theater. And I told George, I said, from the first time I heard you talk about this improv-a-thon that you're doing with Walk-In Bathtub, I was interested right from the start. And he said, well, you better hurry up and get your tickets because they're really selling out quickly. So if you're interested in a Galentine Day at the New Bern Civic Theater with Walk-In Bathtub, and they're hilarious. This is a COVID compliant improv-a-thon. They're only going to allow 25 seats sold for each show, but the shows are at 4, 5, 7, 8, and 9 p.m. So everybody's going to be safely, socially distanced, but you'll need to call the Civic Theater to get tickets. And as George says, they're going very quickly. So, but bound to be another successful and hilariously funny event.
All right. Yeah, well, thanks for explaining Galentine's, because I
had
did
never heard
not
about
click. Yeah, so. it must be a
Galentine, Valentine.
younger Yeah, so.
There's an extra note on here that says when you get to the theater, they'll be checking patrons' temperatures at the door. They will ask the audience to wear masks during the show unless you are eating. Concessions will be available. Everybody will be masked on stage. The The shows are 45 minutes long. They're going to take 15 minutes in between shows to do a good spray and sanitation of the theater. And tickets are $10. If you
That's
want
a
to go
steal.
see the show.
There's a bargain.
That's
Yeah.
a bargain.
Yeah.
Bargain.
Well, did you know the Arts Council, the Craven County Arts Council on February 12th from 5 to 8 is going to do an art walk, which is always popular with folks. And this monthly event takes place at galleries and shops downtown and around New Bern. You can stop by the Bank of the Arts for the opening of Three Visions, One Family, their new exhibit. And the second reception for, there's a Valentine's card sale. Oh, okay, good. And the Director's Gallery. So you could go on the 12th, do art walk, get your Valentine's card, and you'll be ready for Valentine's Day. Visit 317 Middle Street. That's where the Bank of the Arts is. Or you can call the Arts Council at 252-638-2577.
Yeah. And Empty Bulls.
Oh,
Empty Bulls season has kicked off. An online auction with 25 unique items, incredible potters, and an opportunity to help give back to both our community in need as well as the restaurants who have supported them in the past. And this is a combination of Craven Arts Council and RCS. And it's going to be at, it's different this year because of COVID. So for all the information about this, visit emptybullsnewbern.org because there's a lot of information. So.
And this year you select your soup bowl, but then you get like a gift card or gift certificate to one of many restaurants in the area. So that's kind of neat and a way to help keep the event alive, even in the pandemic. So
Yeah,
really cool idea.
that is a great idea. And to get the people in the door if they've never been in the restaurant, you know what I mean? I think that's a fantastic idea.
Me too.
and your ticket has the information on the front, and you flip it over on the back, and there's your $5 coupon. And it
Oh, I
lists all
didn't
the
know that.
restaurants.
Ah, so I guess you already have your ticket.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Pat, do you have yours?
Not yet. It's a win-win for everybody, though, I think, the way they have it set up.
Because they're actually going to, once the restaurant collects the $5 and gives you your $5 off, the Arts Council folks are offering to buy back those $5 coupons from the restaurants. So the restaurants in this COVID time are not out the $5.
Mhm.
So they're really working to help everyone.
Yeah.
Awesome. Wonderful.
Good ideas. And then one thing, an event that's become really popular around New Bern in the last several years are the for the Community Fabric Awards, and always includes a really good meal too, but we'll get to that in a moment. The nominations are open. The most important thing you need to know is nominations are open for the 11th Annual Community Fabric Awards, recognizing good folks in the Craven County area. The event was created actually by the Craven Community College Foundation, and it showcases excellence in leadership as demonstrated by outstanding initiatives, the impact of service, and the inspiration on others. Candidates can be nominated for one of three categories, and it's individual leadership, business leadership, and then leadership in education. So if you have somebody in mind that you think might really represent well the fabric of Craven County, and what this area is made of, you can send that nomination to cravencc.edu/CFA. It'll give you instructions on how to nominate them on that page. And the deadline for submission is Friday, February 19th at 5 p.m. Now, we were talking about it always includes a great meal and is usually at the convention center each year. Well, this year it has to be virtual. But it will be broadcast on Tuesday, April 20th from noon to 1, and will feature the award winners and also the sponsors of this event. So if you need more information, call Charles Wethington over at Craven Community College, and he is at 252-638-7350. So I always love the Community Fabric Awards, and especially when you hear the folks accept the award, they never accept it individually. They always talk about the partnerships and relationships and how everyone in Craven County, you know, we come together, we work together, we really are, you know, one community. We enjoy helping each other. We look out for each other. And that's what I love about the acceptance speeches each year.
That's very true, Colleen. Yes, they're very humble people.
We
And
were honored. We received it in 2016 for business leadership. My husband and I for the UPS store, and I agree 100% with what Colleen had to say. You know, it was an honor.
I remember that. As soon as you said it, I remembered it, Pat, that you guys won.
In fact, you know, rather than keep it in a, you know, a memory kind of a box or something in a closet, we've hung it in our new home in the room I'm in now that we use as an office. You know, we worked hard for that. We're proud of it. There's no point in keeping it hidden in a box. So
there you go.
it was wonderful, wonderful experience.
Now,
You
again,
deserve it. Definitely. Yeah.
we're so lucky to have so many people who give themselves to the community,
Yeah.
which is what you all did. It was great.
Well, thank you. I love that the chamber is collecting those Valentine's Day cards in their little box at Bear Plaza, little mailbox there.
I missed it.
They're trying to get 800 Valentine's Day cards to distribute to local nursing homes and
Wow.
living facilities. So they're asking folks to just buy a box, and we did ours. I signed it from Cupid. I addressed it to my friend and signed them all in a little red pen, you know, from Cupid, and put a box of 50, a total of 50, I think is what we put in last week.
Oh, that's a wonderful idea. I didn't know about that. I think I put that on our website.
One of my girlfriends was telling me she went and dropped hers off. I think she did a couple dozen or something like that, but just how fulfilling it was for her to write a little note and, you know, send a little Valentine to somebody who might not get one this year. So
Yeah.
I think it's a very, very neat idea.
Yeah.
So special. Yeah. And speaking of Valentine's, Ghost of New Bern presents their annual Hold Your Honey Tight Fright Night tour on
Say that 3 times fast.
Hold Your Honey Tight Fright Night tour. That's twice. February 12th and 13th. And that's a great title. So check out hauntednewbern.com for all the information. So that sounds like fun. Yeah.
It sure does.
Yeah.
Also in New Bern, there's free COVID-19 testing every Monday in February and also every Monday in March. This is at Without Limits Christian Center, and they're out Washington Post Road as you are headed out of New Bern. No appointments are needed. If you need a COVID-19 test, take down this phone number because this is how you can make an appointment. It's 252.
You don't need an appointment, but please give the number if they have questions. So.
They want to kind of have some idea on who is coming. So
okay.
you do need to reach out to them, but 252-253-9965. And again, that's Without Limits Christian Center offering the free COVID-19 testing.
All right.
Awesome.
Here's a note about Alan Fairbanks Productions. That's a video production company, and they offer drone service. My goodness. Now, why do I know the name Alan Fairbanks? Is he a Channel 12 fellow?
Yes, he is the chief photographer, I believe, at WCTI News Channel 12, and has a passion for videography and photography and just creativity in general. And so he will post on Facebook some of the photos from his telescope, and you can see the stars filling the sky, and just an incredibly talented individual. And now he is offering his video production services. He also became an FAA Part 107 certified remote pilot. So he can also offer drone footage, video, pictures, whatever you may need. I sent him a message the other day and said, welcome to the drone club. Since he studied for the test and passed, and told him we were all proud of him. But a very talented individual if you're looking for those types of services.
So do you get wings for that? If you pass the test?
You don't. You get like this little license that you always have to have in your wallet. I wish. Maybe the FAA will change that and then we'll get wings.
There you go. You already have wings.
Aw.
So what else? What was I gonna say? I was gonna bring something up. You're like, uh-oh, what is she gonna say? Oh, before we let's get to the trivia to give people a chance to answer
Yes.
the question.
Be
Okay.
thinking about the answer to this contest question.
For folks out there who are listening, what was the question? Name one of the, actually at least 3 Harlem Globetrotters who were born in New Bern on this live stream. And if there's more than one answer, correct answer, we'll do a drawing at 7 o'clock. So there's a lot of guesses. So I think we're just going to hold off on what do you call it, claiming who's the winner until I research. I want to make sure I don't cheat anyone out, you know, in case there's a Globetrotter that I didn't know was born in New Bern.
In
But
case there
we'll
was one
give-
you overlooked.
There you go. Yes. And what else? Oh, Colleen, tell us about the city of New Bern, the police department, their simulator.
Yes. So thank you for reminding me about that, Wendy. Okay. So many of you probably recall several years ago in a partnership with Craven Community College, we transformed what was an old warehouse, power generation plant back in the day into the Volt Center. The first part of the Volt Center, which Reeshema was talking about earlier, is now where they do a lot of manufacturing training, and you can take HVAC and plumbing classes and that sort of thing. Well, the Volt Center is expanding once again. On the back side of that campus is an old building built in the 1960s. It has a curved metal roof to it. It used to be used as our leaf and limb facility, and then most recently was a stormwater maintenance division facility with a lot of storage. And we got to talking to the college about additional needs. We were having conversations with the New Bern Police Department, Craven County Sheriff's Office about wanting a really high-tech, state-of-the-art, almost found nowhere type training facility. And so, you know, we started connecting the dots. And Craven Community College said we already offer basic law enforcement training. We could manage and operate a facility with a state-of-the-art virtual simulator where all of the regional law enforcement departments could come and train. So here we are. We started in September, actually, making renovations to a building that is now part of the Volt Center campus. So on the back side of the building on First Street is actually where the new law enforcement training center is going to be. It's been fully renovated, and the Virtra simulator will be delivered later this month. Now,
Wow.
a Virtra simulator needs a very large classroom. It has many screens to it. And what you do is an officer or two can respond to an event virtually in a scenario, looking at the screens, and it will test the officer's response and also their ability to de-escalate the situation. And what's really cool about the Virtua simulator is you can go in and let's say, for instance, it is someone who has attempted to abduct a child. The person controlling the scenario has the option of having it escalate into a very tense situation, or based on the officer's responses, they're doing everything right, they're taking the steps they need to de-escalate the situation. They can go into the program and make it a very successful outcome where the suspect ends up giving up the child and everyone is safe and unharmed. So it is a very incredibly modern piece of technology. There aren't very many law enforcement departments who have it. I have to give shouts out to Carolina East Health System and also the Harold H. Bate Foundation, because although the simulator's not here yet, They were so interested and supportive of the project, they both gave $50,000 donations to offset the cost of renovations to that building. So thank you so much for doing that for us, Harold H. Bates
Yay.
and Carolina East. The renovations are done. We have done a final walkthrough with Craven Community College, so they now have the keys. And in several weeks, they will take receipt of the simulator. I say receipt because they're going to lease it. And they will get the mock firearms and download all of the software and the training scenarios. And they say that the first class of basic law enforcement training students who will use it, they can begin enrolling in March. And we
Wow.
expect it
Wow.
to be very popular. So
That's great news. Yeah, very
Isn't that
exciting.
cool?
That's
had to-
really awesome.
they had to put up this special soundproofing in the building so that on the outside, you wouldn't hear the sound of sirens and mock gunfire and things like that. So it's really neat when you walk in there to see how they have soundproofed the ceiling and the windows. So
Wow.
neat stuff.
Very, very nice. Yeah.
How many officers can take that class at one time?
Well, because of COVID, we'll be limited on how many people can participate in the simulator or even observe people going through the training scenario. I believe the basic law enforcement training classes can take anywhere from, as little as a half a dozen students up to, I don't think they let their classes get larger than, 20 or 25 folks. Now, I'm not sure they'll all fit in the classroom at the same time. The beauty of the Law Enforcement Training Center, though, is there's a very large classroom in there, and then you can go down the hallway, and the room that the simulator is in is probably about the size of the room I'm sitting in now. So it's quite large also. So you could kind of stage, have maybe half of the class, maybe viewing from the classroom, and then the others in the simulator room. So I'm not quite sure how they're going to juggle that, but I got to give kudos to Craven Community College, though, because they're already planning for sort of an open house when folks can come by and see the simulator close up. And they're working with the city and particularly our inspections department to make sure they only let through, based on square footage, however many people COVID safe can walk through and see the simulator. So they're going to do that open house in the beginning of March, but just to give people a heads up, once they reveal the date and all that, it's going to be kind of one of those events where only a few people will be able to go in at a time based on some of those restrictions. But it's a large facility. In my opinion, it's very misleading from curbside. It's very large on the inside. And when they started renovating it, they exposed some beautiful arching trusses that were inside the building, and unfortunately had to cover them up. They had to insulate the ceiling and create a new ceiling and soundproof everything. But it was so nice to walk in there and just look at those trusses, because you don't see those kinds of roof trusses anymore.
What a wonderful plus for somebody doing basic law enforcement training, the BLET classes, to be able to have that opportunity to work in a simulator, and try out, how are they going to, this is the training they had, now how is it really going to work, and be able to do that with a simulator. Such a plus for a new law enforcement officer.
And I also think on the civilian side of things, we talk about in the department how stressful it is to be a 911 telecommunicator, because you are always picking up the phone to someone who needs your help right now in an emergency situation. And we talk about how hard it must be to deal with that situation when you can't see it, and oftentimes you don't know the outcome. You're sending resources as fast as you possibly can, but you're not there to witness it, and you don't know how it ends. We also talk about the stress upon our police officers. And I just think, even if you're not a sworn officer, you're a civilian employee, how important it would be to participate in that training as well. And not just 911 telecommunicators. I use them as an example, but civilian employees in general. And maybe there's a module in which all of us can kind of see what law enforcement goes through when they respond to situations. So
Maybe like the civilian police academy that they used to do.
yes, absolutely. Very right.
Yeah, and that should become coming back after COVID, right? Probably.
Yes,
Guessing?
we're hoping to. We've been talking about some dates for 2021 and how to keep it safe and how we could operate the program. So like a lot of businesses, organizations, governments, we're trying to decide how you reinstate those public engagement services and programs. So hopefully we'll have those on the road before long.
Yeah, and funding and all that kind of went, decreased because of the virus. So, all right. Who wants to guess the answer? Actually, you want to do a social media minute real quick?
Sure.
Okay. Lynn Johnson said Meadows, Lark, Lemon. Bobby Waters, Curly. Okay, Candy. Hello, everyone from Promise Place. Hello. Thanks for all you do. Answer to today's question, Antoine Scott. I'm having a hard time reading this. Can you see the screen, anyone? No.
No, I don't.
I
have-
cannot on
For my
my
glasses,
telephone.
I forgot to bring glasses. Okay, let's see. However, we would be remiss if we didn't give the New Bern's very own Troy Pennington a shout out. He played with the Washington Generals, the Trotters nightly competition. Huh. Lynn John, okay, good answers. Aaron Smith Langley. Okay. Thank you, Reeshema, for all you do. I'm sorry, but I missed what Reeshema said. Where did she say someone could go find employment help from her? And that's, what was it, ncworks.gov,
ncworks.gov or 252-514-4829.
Okay, and when another answer is Antoine Scott. So I don't have a couple of them. Okay. Eddie, who wants to guess here in the
Kathy
Pod Squad?
does.
The ones I was gonna say was Curly Neal and Meadowlark Lemon.
It
I mean,
was
those are just the only two I remember that come back to me.
right. Okay, so the people that were born in New Bern that I'm aware of, but this may change. I need to do more research. I found 3 of them: Jumpin' Jackie Jackson, Andre Bryant, and Tracy Williams.
Okay.
So, yeah. So
Well, to think 3 Globetrotters came from one little town here.
yeah, and there may be more. I mean, the
Wow.
Antoine Scott. I'm
Plus the
not,
fellow that played for the Generals.
yes, I think. Oh, Pennington, Troy Pennington.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I gotta check out the Globetrotters again. I was on their website, so we gotta confirm.
You
make
have some
sure
work
there's-
to do, Miss Wendy.
Yeah, and I thought I did a lot of work. So I mean, there's always that extra step you got to take to make sure you're not putting out misinformation. And we will announce the winner at 7:00 tonight. So
Fantastic.
yeah, but
Well-
only people who answered during this show.
Do we have joke time today?
Yeah, we have a joke. What was it?
Is this from Miss Laura?
No, I Googled it. I found it
Okay.
on Google. So, okay. How do you measure a snake?
Very careful.
That should have been the answer. Pat,
No,
Colleen,
I'm trying to think of something quirky and a pun, and I can't think of anything. What is
No.
it?
in inches. They don't have feet. Wah,
Okay.
Right. Silly.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well,
Well,
if you are watching the podcast today and you would like to be a guest, or maybe you have a question or a suggestion for the New Bern Now podcast, you can call 252-259-6853 to get a hold of Wendy, or you can also send us an email at info@newbernnow.com. And don't forget to join us February 11th. We're going to Zoom live again from 1 to 2 p.m. on New Bern Now's Facebook page. And the video and audio are uploaded not just to newbernnow.com, but also to YouTube, iTunes, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. And then we always have to thank New Bern News Talk Radio, WNOS 103.9 FM, because you can also listen to the show at WNOS by tuning in every Wednesday at 8 o'clock in the morning and also 5 p.m. each Wednesday evening. So, Wendy?
Yeah. Well, I want to thank everyone for watching today or listening, and we hope you have a great day. And that's a wrap, folks.
That's a
And-
wrap.
Right.
Woohoo! Have a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye. See you later.
Okay.
Where's
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye.